Okay. Ow. What's going on? Oh, what's up, everybody? Welcome to my live. I know there's gonna be a lot of people that watch this after the live, so I'm gonna do my best on just filling you in with my experiences with Ahriman, King of Darkness, and I find there's a handful of people or occultists that don't know this current, and I find it very interesting, I guess, because it's one of the most powerful currents that I've ever worked with. But anyways, if anybody does not know who Ahriman is, he is he is the man. I don't want to get into the story of him, to be honest with you, but I do want to tell you my experience with him. So if you don't know who Ahriman is, go to, I'm just going to reference Michael W. Ford's work and go and get yourself a copy of Draga. Very simple, breaks everything down, has rituals, has a great way of connecting you to the devas, and diving right into this current. That's Ahriman. Now, last night he visited me. So I have been doing I guess about 2 weeks of working with him. You guys all know that I do annual rituals on March 21st and offer him a cow's heart in the forest. And I do a whole ritual because on March 21st, he is, in the mythology, he is said to come down into creation and basically get trapped here. Like how we are trapped in this false light, this false reality of illusions that just distract the majority of us on breaking out of here. I I understand what this reality is, and most of us do, and that's what we're trying to do, is trying to find a way to get the fuck out of here. We do understand that this is an illusion. As beautiful as there's things, these beautiful things are, a lot of these things are still in darkness, like real darkness in the way of not knowing, so ignorance, but the darkness that we work with actually transmutes us into higher states of consciousness and higher being. So I want to fuck. Okay. I have a lot of noise in my house right now because there's a plumber here, and I'm going to tell you why. Last night, oh, this is how I know for sure. If you're curious of like, how do I know if I'm working with, how do I know if this entity is connecting with me, or if it's just my imagination. These are the ways I do this. Understanding and learning how to sense energy, dreams, and understanding what types of dreams there are. There's your own consciousness and subconscious, but then there's dreams when a deity will reveal itself, and you will know the difference of those types of dreams. For me, that's confirmation that the spirit is communicating with me. I have to have a dream. I have to have a prophetic dream. I have to make contact with them in the astral realm, or I just will stop trying to reach out to them. And obviously, things that happen in reality. So I need my dreams, I need the energy, and I need the mundane reflection of what's going on, and an experience. I need to have a spiritual experience. If I do not have any of these, then I will not work with the spirit and I'll move on. That's how I recognize contact. So with Ahriman, I've been working with him for a couple years now. And every time I work with them, I get a different level of communication with them. Last year I had last year or 2 years ago, I had one of the devas actually give me an experience, an outer body experience. And this time around, because where I am now is so, I fucking just want to break the fuck out of here so bad that like, there's pain, there's like pain in not like, it's the pain of being trapped and confined in this fucking realm. I fucking hate it. I want to be released. I want to be released. I want to be released. So that's how I am approaching Ahriman. And last night I got so deep, so emotional, so fucking deep with him. I I just let it all out with Ahriman, and I told him, like, you need to make contact with me, or you know. So this is what happened. Not only did I have the most wildest sexual dreams with the parikas, who are basically female sex devas or demons. Well, not devas. They're like they're drujas, so they're female demons in the Persian current. They will. Oh, fuck, it's so real that when you communicate with them, it's like having like I had orgies with these the most beautiful women. I mean, fucking gorgeous, and it's like it's really happening. It's not dreamlike. It's like real reality shit. Anyways, after they came and we did our thing, I had the weirdest dream. Okay, I'm in my house. I'm in my room, and I have a baby in my arm. Okay, it's like a 1 year old baby, and I wake up. I'm like, what the fuck? Fucking have a baby in my bed. The baby gets up and starts walking in my room and fiddling around with shit, and I hear all this racket. I'm like, what the fuck is this baby doing? So I get up, and like most of my dreams, I know I'm lucid dreaming. I have control. This was not a lucid dream. This was like a different reality dream. Like everything in my house was the same. I didn't even know I was dreaming. I thought this was really fucking happening. So I get out to explore and to find out where all this noise is coming. What's this baby doing? And in my bathroom, the taps are busted. There's water exploded. I'm like, what the fuck? I grab the baby. I go upstairs. Everything is flooded. My house is destroyed. There's flooding. There's water. There's just fucking chaos. Okay, just straight chaos. I sense something around, and I'm like, is it an intruder? Did somebody come in my house and do this? Like, you know. Meanwhile, I'm holding this baby, still trying to look at it and like figure out who is this baby. What the fuck? Holding on to the baby, anyways. Then my dead dog appears from like 10 years ago and runs outside the front door, and I run after my dog, and I see a werewolf in front of my house, and I'm like, holy fuck! So I go back in the house. I'm like, what the fuck? What is that? My dead dog comes back in the house. I'm like, the first thing I thought was, why didn't this werewolf attack and devour my dog? You know? I proceeded to go upstairs to check at the house, and it's still destroyed. Things are chaotic. I go into my daughter's room, who's not there. I don't know where she went. She's very spiritual, so she probably like spiritually just fucking bounced. I don't know, but the roof was torn off, and I can hear footsteps coming closer and closer. And I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm gonna be face to face with this werewolf, not knowing what it was, you know. And then it comes and it stands up and takes form of Ahriman, and his eyes were red, and he just stared at me, and telepathically he says, "I see you," and I'm like, holy fuck. And then I wake up. And when I wake up, my room's cold. I have knocks and fucking chills and just things. I'm like, oh my god, is my fucking house going to get destroyed? So that was a confirmation that I received in my dream. So check mark, okay? I go to work. I come home to a fucking plumber. He's been here for 5 fucking hours fixing our sinks. There's fucking flooding in the kitchen. So, another check mark. I am so grateful right now that the whole house is not going to, but I don't know. He's been here for a while. There it was blockages in the pipes, but then there was just a lot of fucking problems with the pipes. Okay. And the weird thing is his company has this baby face on it. This which is just odd. It's just fucking odd, okay? So yeah, check mark. That's that. The mundane reality happened the day after. Okay, that's how I know shit's gonna get real soon. Like real, real, real. Is anybody fucking out there? Now I do have my I now the way I work with Ahriman is I have my Sama Atar, which is a urn that has dead matter, that has hello, hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. I'm not going to repeat everything I said, but if you want to rewind the live, you can, and then jump back in. So I have my Samatar, which is a urn that is okay. So in Zoroastrian, the Ahura Mazda cult, they use something like that, and they worship the fire god. Okay, which is a Ahura Mazda, and we worship, well, not worship, but you know what I mean. We honor and respect Ahriman, so we use the black urn, and we what's the word I'm looking for? We what is the word? Defile the fire. Okay, we defile it with spit, we defile it with our hair, we give offerings of our hair and nails, and for some reason they respond so, like, the Devas and Ahriman love burnt hair. Like, the more you can burn hair, like, and it has to be hair that you cut off, okay? Not hair that you find on the ground. It has to be your hair because it's the symbol of creation and stuff like that. So you're like defiling shit like that. I'm very on, like, your hair is actually very honorable. So you're offering that up, and your room should smell like burnt hair, burnt skin. It's kind of gross, but it invites Drujnasu, it invites the Devas, and you will actually get a lot of response to these entities. Now, Ahriman coming as a wolf, he's very beast-like. He is a werewolf. He is beast. He represents the primordial chaos. And the story goes that, he chose to destroy rather than create. And what I'm understanding more about Ahriman is that he's not okay. Someone asked me something. I was having a very deep conversation with someone. I was trying to explain why I work with the entities I work with. And he was like, well, if they're so pure evil, how can you summon something that evil if you yourself aren't that evil? Because the person knows me very close, okay? And they know that I'm not like the evil that they portray, that these entities stand by to push into motion into this reality. And I had to agree with him. I'm like, you are correct in a lot of ways. If you cannot harness that amount of evil within you, you're not gonna be able to like. Okay, I don't want to like fuck up what I'm trying to say here, but you to really understand the full essence of true evilness, you must be that. You must be truly that. So most of us we can harness and tap into that, but that's the test, because sometimes when you tap into that and your soul is not fully developed, you can fall into you can lose track of what's going on. I don't know if that makes any sense. I would have to say I have not worked with Norse gods, and I would every mythology has the same kind of backstory to it, right? If you think about it, there's good and evil, duality, opposition. But I can't answer that because I've never worked with him, but I've never met another entity with the same energy. And I find that every entity that I've ever worked with has totally two different energies. So I cannot say that they're the same deity, but they have the same goal, perhaps, or they're on different realities doing the same thing. Because it's like I get okay. You know who Ahriman is close. His energy is closest to Set, the Egyptian god Set. I would have to say, and I feel as Belial could possibly have some kind of connection to Ahriman too, because of what they stand for, but their energies are different. And I guess that's how you have to kind of go off with it. And they're once you are actually tapped into the current, you would understand how different they are. So they do have their own agendas, they do have their own consciousness. And as humans, we kind of want to unmask them in a way and discover them and break them apart. But it's hard to say, you know, you can go into this deep rabbit hole of trying to figure out what the fuck. So, and which is fine. That's how you think, and that's how you break out of a lot of old patterns and programming. Because a lot of people that come on this path are here to break from the Christian programming, society's programming, and want to get reprogrammed. When you start doing mantras and you start invoking the spirits, you're actually programming yourself. You're putting in that energy, which is like a database that will change the way you think, change the way you feel, change the way everything. That's what happens, you know. But Ahriman is beast like. Now, this is the thing. This is what I wanted to talk about. When we work with these entities and we call upon them into our lives and they do cause destruction, which happened in my real life, like mirrored it. Like I'm so grateful that it's not exactly what happened. I don't know. I mean, the house was absolutely trashed, but it's like 1% of what really happened. So now, if Ariman was truly evil to the point where he didn't give a fuck about anything but himself, why does he choose not to totally, like in my dream, when he stood up and looked at me, he could have devoured me. When my dog went to him, he could have devoured the dog. I mean, the energy of fear was around him. The energy of primordial power was around him. So if he was purely this, why would he give a fuck about me? He would, if I invoked him, he would just completely fucking destroy me, and that's it. So then that makes you think, no, that's not what they are. It can't be, because we work and invoke these entities, and they illuminate us. They actually awaken us. They help us. Yes, they have their own agenda. Yes, they have their own plan that we will never really understand because they're not going to tell us. However, they will give you. And the other thing Belial told me, I mean, well, I think it was Belial. Belial said to me, "You ask the wrong questions." A lot of us ask the wrong fucking questions and we don't get the right answers from them because a lot of these spirits talk in riddles or they speak in a different language. They try to communicate with you in your language by symbols and voice, blah, blah, blah. And we don't get the correct answers. Sometimes we don't even get an answer and we don't think they're communicating with us. But it's the questions that you ask. And I think I asked the right questions today while I was driving. Now, hold on. Let me just tell you guys something. That song that I just posted up, the Ahriman chant, it is so fucking powerful. I don't think you no, I don't think a lot of people understand what this chant really is. Okay, the person singing behind it is a Zoroastrian who's singing to Ahura Mazda. Okay, so I took that and I put fucking Ahriman on top of it, which is absorbing it all. So it's opposing that. So it brings the friction, and if you actually listen to it over and over and over again, you will start to feel the buildup of fucking pure, like you want out. You want the fuck out. Uh, the answer and always in the question asking. Yeah, it sucks because a lot of us on this path is because we're great thinkers. We're free thinkers. We understand that freedom is not free and we have to break from the shackles of this limited physical reality. I don't know about you, um, a Ayla, but I was at the point where I just want to rip my skin I was locked out. And Ariman was trying to show me how it feels, because you have to feel what it's really. Wait, you have to feel this entrapment. Okay, once you break in from the programming, then you understand how you're fucking trapped here. Then I started asking him because in the story of Ahriman, his brother Hira Mazda started creating life, okay, planets, and Ahriman said, "Well, fuck you. I'm gonna, I didn't want this, but since you're gonna do this, I'm gonna be in like, I'm gonna create the opposite of what you're creating." Now, it also is said that on the Earth, he created all this beautiful stuff, and then Ahriman created all the poisonous things. Well, actually, it was Ajdrahi, but anyways, they both created the opposites of animals and things like the monsters and not even monsters. No animals on here's monsters, but the poisonous ones, okay? The deadly ones. But then I asked Ahriman, I was like, well, if that's, if you, so what did you create an opposite for a human? Like, what is it? If you opposed everything that your brother was creating, what did you do with human beings? How did you create the opposite of a human being? And that's where the alchemy comes in. Because a human being can become both. We can split. And not only that, we can create our shadow and our immortality, which can fuel the darkness. And this is what he's showing me. The more of us that are released into the darkness and fully fucking transcend and create our shadow into something so much more than we can understand, we can come together and fucking get the fuck out like in a big explosion, you know. Yeah, I don't know, it's like, so I don't know if you guys are gonna see these questions. She said, I've experienced wanting to rip my skin off and get delivered, and then I got delivered in prayer into a state of no mind. But why do we have a mind if we're not meant to use it in the fullest? The splitting is fueling something. Yeah, it's creating, and that's what this whole reality is like. Without destruction, new, without destructions, nothing new can be created. Like we see all the war, and we don't understand this war, but it's actually to create motion into reality. It's like it creates motion, it creates things. Without it, it would be standstill, you know? And, ooh, high pitched noise in my ear right now. Yeah, so the kiss of Ahriman is when Ahriman kisses his prophet Zohak, who was a serpent king. He was a cruel king in Persia. This is the story. He was a cruel king in Persia, and Ahriman was going to him and disguised himself as a a human priest or something. I don't know. He was serving him, and somehow he started to stimulate his mind. I don't know the details, but Ahriman, when he was disguised as this person, kisses Zohak's shoulders. And when he kisses Zohak's shoulders, his kundalini rose. And he got Dumar and Dihak, the Indala, Pindala, the rise of the serpents. Okay, the awakening. The awakening. And he became the prophet of Ahriman. And he got entrapped for 3,000 years and was transformed into a three-headed dragon called Azidahaka. And the opposite was the prophet of Ahura who was Zoroaster, where Zoroastrian comes from. All good, all light, fire creation. Very interesting mythology, very powerful mythology, and they do make contact. I forgot what else I was going to talk about. There's not really anybody here. Today's a Friday night. I think there's other people doing lives, and my live's not that interesting. But just keep on when you get to the point where you're at the breaking point, that's the point where you have to cut everything off. Like I have this month, I've cut off a lot of things, and I'm solely working again with Ahriman because I really want to. I was gonna work with angels, and I said, listen, if I'm gonna work with angels, you need to communicate with me because I'm not gonna do it if I don't get a response. I got no response, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna work with because I usually work with this path around in March. That's the March. That's the month for Ahriman. Okay, but he came through. So I am. You will learn like this right here is a lot of death in it. Okay, and it's funny because his sorcery, the Persian sorcery, has a lot to do with death magic and necromancy, and working with the dead. There's no getting out of that. It's just you have to know how to do this. You have to know how to you have to know necromancy to understand what's going on with you and what are shades, what are the spirits of the dead. Because Druj Nasu has a huge part. I've sprinkled my room with ashes of a deceased person. Okay, my room is consecrated with death energy and essence, and this here, I wear jewelry. When I wear my occult jewelry, sometimes I have to take it off because the energy is so heavy, but this is pure death magic, and for some reason, death essence, and there's lots of other things in here. It's the lightest thing I don't even know it's on. It's just so light. Well, I don't know what stage you're on your path, um, Alaya. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Ayla. But necromancy is a practice that has been around since we have been around, and you must, if you're gonna work in the dark, if you're gonna work with black magic, and I don't mean black by like cursing and shit like that. Yeah, that comes with it, because you need to learn how to defend yourself, and you need to know how to avenge yourself, and not let anybody fuck with you. But necromancy is dark. It is. You have to, when you work with necromancy, you must understand vampirism, because the dead will feed off of you if you don't know how to protect yourself and know how to. You need to know vampirism. This is just my opinion. If you're going to work with the dead and you don't know, if you're not a vampire and you don't know how to do vampirism, you're gonna get fucking drained, spiritually drained by them, because that's what they do. They drain you, but you can work with them and get them to drain something else. Yes. It's funny you say that, because I see some people say, oh, this path is for everybody and they just need to like open up to the darkness. No, the fuck it isn't. No, the fuck it is. This path is not for everybody. Okay? It chooses you. You don't choose this path. It chooses you because it is you. This is your soul alignment. This is where you're supposed to be. If you keep getting called to it, it's the spirits calling you to it so you can fulfill your pacts from the past, so you can fulfill your soul's mission. You got to, or you're gonna keep incarnating. We need to get the fuck out of here. That's my mission. Get the fuck out of this physical cage bullshit. Yeah, thank you, President. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Jesse Cat 31. Yeah, just rewind it because I ain't gonna repeat everything I just said. It's been half an hour. I find, we'll talk about the dark night of the soul. I find when the dark night of the soul happens to you, it's because you get to the point of your spirituality where you're not really fucking growing anymore. It's like, it's plateaued. So the dark night of the soul comes in, you totally fucking get ripped apart, like ripped, you shut off, connection lost, confusion, fucking numb, everything all at once. So you can wake up and go deep, go really, really deep in your path. Because once you know, tip your toes in the water, you got to put your whole fucking body in. And like humans, we do a little bit, little bit, little bit, and then finally you got to fucking go all the way in. You got to go all the way in. And I think the dark night of the soul is what it is. You go all the way in and then you get fucking come back up. Then it happens again. And I don't know how many times it's gonna fucking have to happen, but yeah. Yep, that happens. I'm iffy about the twin flame, but I do a little bit. I don't want to even admit it, but there are too many similarities because I have a person that comes in my life that fucks my shit up hardcore because I have this crazy connection with them, and it's toxic as fuck. It's horrible. But when that person comes around, yeah. Do you guys have any questions about anything else? I can't wait. Like, I've cut off my Facebook. I'm not even talking to my partner right now. I'm cutting off any emotional attachment from everybody, and I'm just totally going into the darkness. Totally, like every night I do serious fucking trance work. I go pull myself into it. The only thing I am doing is binge watching Game of Thrones, which if anybody has not watched Game of Thrones, watch it because it has a lot of esoteric meaning to it, and I'm actually putting a little bit of Ahriman's meaning into it because they worship a fire god. There's dragons. There's so many coincidences. Even that there's a seven. They worship the seven gods. Like, Game of Thrones is so occult. It's so fucking crazy. Like, the first time I watched it, I just watched it as a good show, but now I watched it again and I'm like, wait, this is so similar to this and this and this. Aya says, I have the toxic one too, and he is connected with Belial, but this one was pure. Well, the one I'm connected with does not work with them, but he does have a connection with them. So I'll fuck him up a little bit. Have to. That's what we do with the twins. We fuck each other up. You know? Odd. I don't believe we're the same soul though. I don't believe that. I think it's just I don't fucking know. I'm not gonna pretend I fucking do, but I do know that there is these serious connections that come into your life that fuck your shit up. You know, that really do. Um, so I'm going to continue going as deep and as fucking dark and crazy as I can get this month, and see how I can break the shackles completely, and I'm gonna try to get some gnosis that I can bring forth to you guys, some mantras, some sigils. I'm gonna try to really get Ahriman, because I believe Lucifer, his energy, I've noticed in the last couple years, has dissipated. And I've heard it before with some people that he's broken free out of this matrix. But I feel like the gods, in a way, take turns of rulership. Like, for like a couple thousand years, I don't know. That's how it seems. And Christianity and Lucifer, all that ties in. Don't get that mistaken. Is being destroyed, and I really feel it's Ahriman's time to rule. And Lucifer and all the other entities have set this up for him. Ahriman is very material. Okay, that's where we have so much technology. Lucifer was about the age of Aquarius, opening up our minds, breaking from a lot of dogma and a lot of slavery, and a lot of us have broken from that. For the last 100 years, we're completely different human beings. Okay, now it's time for the true. Well, this aeon is gonna be fucking crazy. Ahriman rules. I think Ahriman and Belial are working together. That's my. And I don't know. He's here more so. I don't know. Fuck. But anyways, that's all I have to say for now. Cause I'm gonna go and light my black urn. I just feel Lucifer's not so here anymore. You know. I think I caught him. I think he was here for the last of us in this living day to set forth motion. We are here. We are doing the work. And now the next 100 years, the next 200 years is going to be absolutely fucking wild if we make it as human beings. And if we don't as a species, well, I don't know. I don't care. I don't fucking care anymore. You know, I'm very anti-cosmic. You can tell. As much as I can appreciate creation and look at it like my nephews and appreciate innocent life, I just know what they're up for. If they aren't equipped, or if they don't have the right environment, especially because I live in Canada, and I'm not saying it's not hard around the whole world, but Canada from 20 years ago is no place you can fucking survive. It's fucking hard here. There's people who have professional jobs that can't afford rent and living out of their car. Actually, last night, my coworker told me he works the night shift. There was a homeless guy in the bathroom sleeping, and when he woke him up and told him to leave, he saw that he was wearing a business suit, and he walked out into his car. But it was too cold for his car, meaning he's working, he just can't afford shit. That's but we need it. We need this to destroy the old paradigm. Blah 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 blah. I remember something you once said about some old ones that are forever feeding. It stuck with me. Like what did I say? What old ones? Like old gods? The old gods. You have to question everything, you know? You have to question the gods. I I believe in all the mythology. Like I work with the mythologies for my spiritual development. But what do I truly believe? How human intelligence came to be? I truly resonate with the whole idea of advanced beings coming to Earth and fucking genetically altering the humanoids of Earth to advance them for slaves. That's why we have a slave mentality and want to worship shit. It's still in our genetic coding. So when we work with these other forces, it's to remove our slave mentality so we can actually truly become gods. Well, we are divine, but you know what I mean? We have thousands and thousands of years of programming. It's just crazy how we see wars. Like, okay, the Ukrainian war happened. Nobody talks about it. Now there's another war coming. Oh, well, now that we have got the other war, it's like there's a lot of destruction. There's always been wars. There's always been destruction. But if you look at the advancements in technology, which a lot of us disagree with because we see how Atlantis fell. We are Atlantis. However, perhaps the gods, I don't fucking know. I don't know what the future tells. I just know that we just do the best we can to 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 never slave down. Uh-oh. My phone's going to die. Just be true to yourself. Never allow anybody to take your fucking power. And you don't have to be one of these people that want to show off your individuality of being a left-hand path practitioner. I find that when I hide in the shadows and I pretend I'm one of them, it's so much easier to get what I want. And that's what you want. You want to get what you want in this life. We all do. But if you act different from everybody, unless you are financially stable and you have your own house and you have your own car and you can say fuck you to everybody and be who you, and flash your fucking pentagrams, things, then fucking right on, do it. But if you live in a community that watches everything you fucking do, or you got a fucking really Christian family or Muslim family, hide your shit and know that it's for the best in the way of survival until you can make it without it. And there's nothing wrong with it because you can do things without them knowing and they would never suspect you, you know? Humans are vile creatures. We are fucking, when you tap into the collective consciousness of humanity, it's fucking disgusting. Fucking disgusting. You know, when you go into the hells and see what the hells of human mind is, it's fucking insane, you know. We're animals, but perverted fucking animals. Animals are better than us. We are fucking just... It's not that I've given... That's it. Fuck it. My phone's going to die. I hope that was good information. I hope I wasn't too, like... for you guys, but I'm just speaking my truth. That's all I can do. And thank you for supporting me, and I will do more. I will keep you guys up to date with my progress this month. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. If you want to get any knowledge, like books or any something like that, or any guidance to where to go, I'm here. Just comment here. And I wish you the best. How do I stop it?